ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Friday, December 15th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. We're getting you set for the weekend. We got basketball, of course, happening this weekend. Football is going to be hitting the airwaves next week. It's a travel day for the Thundering Herd as the Herd is making its way to Frisco, Texas. Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl. That's coming up. We'll have that game on the 19th. And you can listen to it on our sister station, 93.7 The Dog, as we'll be kicking off our Bowl Mania this weekend, starting, believe it or not, with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are in action on Saturday. So we'll start with the Bengals, and then we're going to have almost every single day, we will have bowl games on the radio. So if you can't watch, if you're at the office, you're in the car, no matter where you're at, you want to try to catch some of the games, we're going to have you covered with a lot of those games, and you can tune in every single day right here for football. It's just going to be wall-to-wall football right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to have bowl action on Monday as well, so I don't think we're going to make the air on Monday. If we do, it's going to be really late, so don't expect the show on Monday. We'll be back at it on Tuesday for normal. Of course, Tuesday is going to be bowl day as well, and we're going to be at Giovanni's 20th Street for that. So if you're looking for a place to watch the game on Tuesday, a good one is Giovanni's 20th Street. You'll be right across from Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and of course, get a shot at some of that delicious pizza. That's the game plan right there. Get to Giovanni's, get some of their delicious pizza, the calzones, everything that they make is good. So that's your game day destination on Tuesday. What are we going to talk about today? Well, obviously the football game. We're going to talk about Marshall in the game, but we're going to hear from, I thought it'd be cool today to hear from Cole Pennington. We've got some of his comments as Cole is getting set to lead the Herd in Texas. So we'll hear from him. And we've got transfer portal news. We've got recruiting news. Let's start with a couple of commits. First of all, Marshall picking up today a edge rusher, Darius Wiley from Radcliffe, Kentucky. He is committed to the Thundering Herd. According to 247 Sports, he is ranked number 2 edge and number 11 overall as far as prospects are concerned in the state of Kentucky. He comes in at 6'6", 230 pounds. So a good pickup there for the Thundering Herd. And then the one that just happened a few minutes ago that I caught, because, again, social media doesn't care that I go on at 5 o'clock. It happens. Before I go on the air, during the air time, after, it doesn't care. So we try to catch it as best we can. Wake Forest quarterback Mitch Griffiths, he's committing to Marshall. He is a grad transfer. He's got 2 years left. His stats last season, or the season just ended, 124 of 207, 1,553 yards. He averaged 7.5 yards a completion. Had 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So he was 124 of 207 this season with over 1,500 yards. So some new personnel being brought in already. Maybe this is going to be a sign that the Thundering Herd offensive system is going to change a little bit. And, of course, what's that mean for Cole Pennington? Obviously, you want to try to bring some quarterbacks in. But if I'm transferring in, I've got an idea that I'm going to win that job, right? If you're being recruited out of high school, that's one thing. Yeah, you might have to wait. But if you're coming in, you're hoping that, okay, I'm getting a new change of scenery here. I'm getting a new venue. I'm going to get an opportunity to go out there and really perform at a higher level. I'm going to get a chance to perform, and I'm interested to see what the quarterback battles look like. I mean, we haven't even got through the bowl game yet, and I'm already interested in quarterback battles. I want to see what that looks like in the upcoming year. So that's going to be interesting to follow. And, of course, we're going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm going to give you another chance to win tickets. We've got a 4-pack of tickets coming up for Thursday. It's going to be the Herd ticket on UNCW. That's happening on Thursday. It's a 7 o'clock game. I've got a 4-pack today that I'm going to give you a chance to win. And, of course, we always take the texter of the day. If you're the texter of the day, you get the tickets. But I'm going to make it a little more competitive. I'm going to give you an opportunity to, as we always do, and usually we did this around football tickets, but I'm sorry, I don't have football tickets to give you, but I do have basketball tickets. So we're going to blend the two. Football games coming up on Tuesday. It's time for our tried and true. What's the score going to be? Pick the score. Tell me the outcome. Does the Herd win this one? Does Marshall get its bowl victory? Or does Marshall end up with a losing record? What's the score of the game going to be? Text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is going to be a Herd victory. What's the score going to be? Is this going to be a UTSA victory? What do you think the score is going to be? So we'll open the text line up for that this hour. And, of course, that's on top of your regular stream of questions, thoughts, comments, all of that. We throw it all into one pile. Anything that you send in today, will get you automatically qualified for our ticket giveaway. And again, 4 tickets to Thursday matchup, Herd in action, taking on UNCW. And if you can't go, we've got that game on 93.7 The Dog. So we'll get those texts in. Let's start doing that now. We'll hear from Cole Pennington in just a minute. We'll get you caught up on everything else that's happening as well. And all of that's coming up. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Paul Swann. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Time is running out. To earn points and free prizes, including a $1,000 grand cash prize with the Greater Huntington Candy Cane Trail. Download the free Greater Huntington Candy Cane Trail mobile passport at huntingtonchamber.org/trail to access exclusive offers at your favorite businesses. Learn more and get started at huntingtonchamber.org/trail. Don't forget to pick up your prizes at the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce office.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Who are the toughest men and women in the tri-state area? Miller Lite, Coors Banquet, 84 Lumber, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Huntington Trump, Wilson Welding, Fitness World, and Pritchard Lawn Care present the 36th Annual Tri-State Tough Men Contest. Coming January 5th and 6th to Huntington's Mountain Health Arena, see up to 100 men and women slug it out for thousands in prize money, plus the Miss Ring Girl Bikini Contest. Buy tickets or sign up at wvtoughman.com.
Clark's Pump and Shop presents Bowl Mania. Kinder Communications and Clark's Pump and Shops have joined forces to bring you nearly 25 bowl games. Bowls from Marshall's Frisco appearance to the Wildcats in the Gator Bowl. National Championship playoffs, too. Listen for the games on 94.1 FM and 930 AM ESPN Radio and Cat Sports 93.3 FM and 1340 AM. The best in bowls. An exclusive presentation of Kinder Communications Sports. Presented by Clark's Pump and Shop, where you can return, refresh, and refuel where? Clark's Pump and Shop.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day, the day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Friday edition of the show. Paul Swann, your host here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to hear from Cole Pennington in just a moment, but we're going to get your text in as well. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're going to give you a chance to win 4 tickets to go see the Herd on Thursday. Basketball is heating up. Herd's got a 3-game homestand. 4 games, really, but 3 games before the holiday break. And we've got tickets for the game on Thursday. You can win them by texting in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Usually our texter of the day will win those, but we're spicing it up a little bit, giving you a chance to add to this conversation today. What's the score going to be? Thundering Herd in Frisco, Texas to take on UTSA. What's the score of the Marshall game going to be on the 19th? 304-396-TALK. That's the text line. Cole Pennington's going to be your starter after Cam Fancher announcing he was entering the transfer portal. And got some interesting looks so far from a few schools, and that's a testament to him. I don't know if that's something that we can hang our hat on as far as if you're a Herd fan, you go, hey, the quarterback's transferring out. Yeah, I wish the Herd would have done better. Oh, wow, hey, some pretty big schools actually looking at him here. Okay, so what's that say for him? Somebody out there thinks he's pretty good. And, of course, he's got some experience now, and there's always going to be a program that needs to bring in experience. And, of course, if you're looking to bring in experience, sometimes you go to the transfer portal, as we mentioned earlier. If you weren't joining us early, we found out that Mitch Griffiths is committing to Marshall. He's a quarterback out of Wake Forest. He's got 2 years left, grad transfer. And last season, the last few months of the season, he had 124 completions out of 207, 1,553 yards for an average of 7.5 per completion, and finished with 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So 9 TDs, 7 interceptions. And I have been to Wake recently. They got some nice facilities there. Facilities not necessarily always going to matter, but they've got some nice facilities at Wake Forest. Their football stadium, once you get in their football stadium, because I've always seen it on TV, and it's like, okay, this is all right. I get in the football stadium, and it looks a lot bigger inside. And it's beautiful. It's well kept. The architecture, it flows with what the campus architecture is. It's cohesive. They take care of their stuff because they don't have piles of cash like Alabama. So they got to take care of their stuff and make sure that they build it to last. And they've really got some nice facilities. Baseball was spectacular. Football facility was tremendous. The basketball facility was really cool. Their facility away from the arena is super cool. Wake Forest has got money. And that means to me, not necessarily is it about how much money you have. That's good to hear. That's good to see that it's still possible. You don't have to have ACC money to be able to attract players and compete. So, hopefully we'll have an interesting conversation about the starting quarterback next season. But this season is wrapping up with the bowl game, and we have one Cole Pennington is going to be your quarterback for the bowl game. And so when we talk to him about the bowl game, and here's the good news. If you haven't seen a player in the transfer portal, that means that player's playing. Rasheen Ali, Cole Pennington, all these players that have not put themselves in the transfer portal, they're playing. It's because the bowl game is something that they want to take a part of. And for Cole Pennington, growing up being Chad Pennington's son, growing up watching the Herd, watching the Thundering Herd in bowl games, for him, bowl games are special.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's special. Get my first bowl game start. Bowl games are special in themselves. They're just a great way to extend your time with the guys that you've built a culture with and a chemistry with the whole season. So I'm excited for these seniors, getting one more game, one more chance to go play with them, and being able to get behind center and start and hopefully do my best out there and just lead the guys to a victory. So I'm excited for that opportunity. It'll be a fun bowl and just a good experience overall. So
yeah, that's the important thing. He's getting experience now. And so when spring rolls around, you're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be the quarterback there? He's going to have a leg up, obviously, because he's going to be the quarterback starting in the bowl game, hopefully leading the Herd to a victory. And he's getting valuable reps and experience, and he's going to have the game. And that's valuable for him because that puts him a little bit further than he was a few weeks ago. He's getting all the first-team reps again. He's getting all the looks again. He's getting to work with the ones. He doesn't not have to work with the backups as much. He will benefit from all of this extra time, and that's kind of what you're hoping for. That's why you want the bowl game. You want the best bowl you can possibly get, but you want the bowl game because it lends itself to having all this extra time. Your season isn't over, and that's big. That's huge for coaches. If you don't get a bowl game, we got problems. In today's college football landscape, you don't get a bowl game, we got problems. So I was kind of curious when talking to Cole, just how would he evaluate his progress? He's had a few starts now. He's getting all the extra time now with the bowl game. He's getting that opportunity. So how would he evaluate his progress?
Definitely. I think the two starts I had this season were huge for me. As Ozzie said, just being able to mature, that's huge. Just getting game reps, being mature as myself as a quarterback have been huge for me. And taking these practice reps and these extra reps that we get because of the bowl game is huge. And I think this season's been a big year for development for me and just trying to put it all together.
So quarterback speak, but of course he's just trying to put it all together. And the Herd has had the opportunity now just to focus on football. Not necessarily only thing that they do, but they've had the opportunity to focus more on football. They don't have to worry about classes, don't have to worry about exams. They can just, for a few weeks, they can be football players. This is the closest they're going to get to being professional football players where it's their job just to do football. Everything else is secondary. Don't have to worry about good grades, any of that. Just go play football. And so how has that time helped
Definitely. I think it was really good for our guys to, take a couple weeks to kind of take a breath. A lot of guys, but you're banged up after a season, especially the guys that are playing, every week in and week out. Take some time to get to rest and let the bodies recover. So that's been huge for us, getting healthy again, and then also just having an extra couple weeks with the guys is also huge. As Coach Huff said throughout the season, doing our best to push for extra time with each other. So.
And he comes back to that extra time. That's what he's looking for, extra time. He needs an extra time. And that's not a slam on him. It's just he needs extra time. They all need extra time. And especially, and I'm sure they're not going to do anything that's fundamentally different. There's not going to be a drastic change, but there will be change coming. You might see a little bit of it now. You might kind of get a hint of it. I think we can all agree that last game, the Herd with that win over Arkansas State, we were pretty happy with the way that the game was called. And Coach Huff had the card. Had the card in his hand. Looked like he was more proactive. Not that he is just sitting back and watching the game on the sidelines, but he's been in the thick of it a lot more. Same thing with Coach Dan D'Antoni. As far as practice is concerned and everything else that goes into that, instead of delegating and being the guy that oversees everyone doing what he wants, he just goes out and he's been more hands-on. And that's not saying that how he was doing it was not the right way. It just says he's taking more of a direct approach now. Instead of going through his assistants, delegating, he's putting his hand on everything directly. He's running it directly now. He figures, if I'm going out on my own. Same thing with football. It seems like there was a different feeling to everything that was happening on the sideline in that last game. And that was, of course, before we saw the post from Athletic Director Spears. Then we saw personnel changes, and, of course, there's personnel changes still happening, and we're going to find out more when, as Coach Huff would say, as soon as all the background checks and HR lets them talk about it, we'll find out a little bit more. Now, one thing that we've talked about constantly is the transfer portal. Marshall's not the same team going into Frisco. It's missing a few players. Top of the list is Cam Fancher. It's not the same team. It's still the Marshall Thundering Herd, but it's going to be different. The same thing can be said about UTSA. It's not the same team. And you can say that about almost every team that's playing in a bowl game. Players are putting their names in the transfer portals. They are wanting to get a head start on their next destination or try to find that next destination. And some of them are going to be successful. Some of them won't be. I mean, that's the thing here. There's no guarantee. Once you put yourself in the transfer portal, there's no guarantee that you're going to land somewhere. Keep that in mind. But the transfer portal is open. Players are going to enter it. The floodgates are open. There's not stopping this. You're not putting this genie back in the bottle, as the old saying goes. So now you got to get ready for an opponent. You have to get ready for an opponent that might not look the same. You're not going to look the same 100%. You're going to be a little different. That opponent's going to be a little different. And so now you're preparing for a team that you have film on, but you might not have an idea of some of the players that are going to be filling in the gaps. How's this team going to look without this player? What are the backups going to really look like? You're playing more scheme than personnel. That was something that Coach Huff talked about the other day. Playing the scheme more than you're playing the personnel. And so how is that if you're a quarterback, if you're getting ready for a bowl game and you're trying to prep for the opponent, what's that like in this day and age, especially with the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Just watch as much film as you can. Film study is important, but when it's a team that you're not as familiar with, like Ozzie said, we haven't played them since 2018, and that's when I was like in 8th grade, so it's a long time ago. So just being able to watch them past just the whole season, and especially the past 4 weeks, usually when you really study them, their most recent film is huge. And then definitely just diving into what they do and just really grinding on the film is the most important part.
The last time Marshall played them, he was in 8th grade. He said that, 8th grade. How old do you feel right now? If you were around when Chad Pennington was the quarterback at Marshall University, how old do you feel right now? I, for one, feel old. I'm not that old, and I feel old right now. He was in 8th grade the last time the Herd took on UTSA. It wasn't that long ago either. And now the son of Chad Pennington is the quarterback, starting quarterback for the Marshall Thundering Herd. That makes me feel old. Really old. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Speaking of being old, Cole grew up watching Marshall. How could he not? Grew up watching Marshall, grew up being a fan of Marshall. And so now he's the quarterback of the Marshall Thundering Herd. He's starting the bowl game, and he gets an opportunity to go out there and play with guys that he has watched for several years. That's the thing. It's not like a quarterback comes in and meets his teammates for the first time. Cole's been around for a while. He's been watching the Herd for years. So now he gets to go out and play with guys that, I mean, you heard the comment. He was in 8th grade when Marshall played UTSA. I hate to say that he gets to play with guys now he grew up with, but he's a young quarterback, and there's some veterans on this team. And, he talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up as a Marshall fan, watching the games and watching the bowl games, I remember in the Georgia Southern game when I completed a pass to Talik, it kind of hit me after the game because I remember watching him when he was freshman and sophomore, and all the rave about him, how good of a player he was, and I was young, and to be able to go in a game and then complete a pass to him years later was really crazy and surreal. So just I've watched these guys, especially these older guys, the last 4 or 5 years, watch them play in bowl games, and now I get to get back there and strap it up with them and play with them. This is really cool. So
again, he's been around for a while. He just didn't show up. And here I am. I'm Chad's son. I want to be a quarterback. He's been around for a while. He's been watching the Herd for a while. He's a fan. Dream for him to be the quarterback. It's something he was probably aspiring to be. I want to be the quarterback like my dad, maybe. The Marshall Thundering Herd. And here he is, growing up watching these guys, and now he's getting to play with them. And I'm sitting here going, is it time for me to retire just yet? That's probably a question for the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. If you say yes, I will disqualify you from winning tickets. So I'm just telling you right now. Speaking of being around the program for a while and watching these guys and then being on the team and being on the scout team and being around the program, working his way up, he talked about all of that, just growing into his leadership role. When you're the quarterback, you're the leader, or you should be, or you can be. And he's grown into that position, and he talked about that.
Definitely. I think last year I talked about it, and this past spring how important last fall was for me, being on the scout team and getting those reps against our one defense every day. They were, one of the top defenses in the country, so it helped me mature as a quarterback and as a player. And then, going into the role of getting more into our offense and not just scout team, our actual offense, and diving into that. And then now, I'm sitting here in a different position where I'm going out there and starting with the guys, and I'm playing with them. So definitely, it's definitely been a cool path, and I've learned a lot, and I'm very thankful for it. So.
That's Cole Pennington. He's going to be leading the Herd onto the field, the Thundering Herd taking on UTSA. It's the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. We've got that game coming up on the 19th. You can hear it on our sister station, 93.7 The Dog. Looking forward to that. And, of course, we're going to have that for you right here as well on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to be at Giovanni's, 20th Street. Looking forward to all of that coming up next week. We've got a lot of football action. We've got the Bengals in action, taking on the Vikings. We go on the air 11:30 tomorrow, Saturday NFL football. I don't know how I feel about this just yet. I'm still not used to Saturday football from the NFL. Saturday's college. Sunday's NFL, but the NFL is now taking over Monday, and it's taking over Thursday, and it's definitely taking over Christmas Day now. Are you watching the NBA on Christmas Day? No, I'm not. I'm watching NFL football, right? At least that's what I think everybody's doing. That's what I'm doing. So we've got a lot of football coming up this week and next. The holiday season is full of football, and we've got a lot of it all right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Back to our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our texter says, I think with the inexperience at quarterback for Marshall and along with UTSA's good offense, I think we will lose 38-17. Don't believe Huff will be re-signed after next season. Hopefully better things to come in future years. And I would like to have those basketball tickets. Well, you are entered now. And you can enter as well as being our texter of the day, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. See, that's a good structure of a text there. Texter had an opinion as to why they think that Marshall's going to lose. Also dropped an opinion, stayed positive, and of course it doesn't hurt to say, hey, I kind of would like the basketball tickets. More texts coming up, 304-396-TALK. I'm your host, Paul Swann. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette. We look forward to bringing the residents of Wayne County a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, community involvement, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com. Equal housing lender. Member NCUA.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
The holidays come but once a year, and Masterforce is here to spread some cheer with drivers and drills and blades and bits. From sanders and saws to power tool kits, Menards has the value and savings, of course. Shop tools and accessories from Masterforce. Find great stocking stuffers and gifts at Menards. Plus, don't forget about our gift cards. Get 12% off till Christmas Day in all Masterforce. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. Sorry, no price adjustments. See store for details.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Farmers Bank, always there to support you with everything you need. Farmers Bank, bank better. Bluegrass Drip, wellness and aesthetics in Ashland. It's time to get off your butt and lose your gut. Check out bluegrassdryp.com. Crow Hustle Funeral Home, serving your family is their calling. 304-675-2630.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. In Milton, Eric Dodson, 304-390-4515. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Oh, hi. Do you know what this is the sound of? It's the sound of me getting rewarded for doing my part to prevent wildfires. See, right now I'm getting a big, remarkably heartfelt bear hug from Smokey Bear. Thanks, big guy. And now we're shaking. Okay. First, I made sure there were no low-hanging branches when I set up my campfire. Hey, Smokey, let me down for just a second. I need to make sure everyone can hear this. There we go. Then, when we were packing up to leave, I drowned out my campfire, stirred it, drowned it out again, and then made sure to feel it if it was cold. Oh, Smokey Bear really loves it when you do that, don't you, Smokey? Oh, he lets his hugs do the talking. Visit SmokeyBear.com to learn tips to prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're going back to the text line at 304-396-TALK. Paul Swann, your host for today's edition of The Drive. Texter writes in and says, Paul, you are a spring chicken. Enjoy your show, and thanks for keeping us informed on Herd Sports. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't feel like a spring chicken some days. I don't know if it's the cold. I don't know if it's the cold making my knees hurt. I don't know if I do feel like a spring chicken. I appreciate that. Thank you. Texter writes in and says, don't retire. We need you to report on Herd defense standing tall in Frisco, leading to a 28-17 Herd win. And good news for all the other texters. The texter says that they can't take the tickets this time. So they have disqualified themselves from the tickets. All right. More of those texts coming up. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Okay, I won't retire. I promise I won't retire. But, boy, my knees feel like it today with the cold weather outside. I don't know. I'm going to Marshall basketball tomorrow, and Dan's, like, way older than I am, and he's moving around really well these days, so I'll take some inspiration from him. Herd basketball coming up. We've got it for you tomorrow. Herd's beginning a 4-game homestand, 7 o'clock against UNC Greensboro. Now, I need to point this out to you. If you listen to the games on either 9:30 a.m., 94.1 FM, flip over to 93.7 The Dog. Go to 93.7 The Dog. We begin our day tomorrow with Bengals football. It's going to be an 11:30 airtime, so the Bengals will be on all day. Then we're going to follow that up with bowl games, kicking off our Bowl Mania. So if you're looking for the game, you're looking for me on the radio, you're looking for the game, 93.7 The Dog. That's where you want to be for the game tomorrow. And, of course, the Bengals looking to continue the resurgence, taking on the Vikings. Should be a fun one, as we've got it for you here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We'll get more of your text in as we're giving you a chance to win tickets to go see the Herd next Thursday, take on UNCW. We'll have that game for you on 93.7 The Dog. But if you'd like to go to the game, we've got 4 tickets today to give you. You can win those by being our texter of the day, and that's at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. One final segment. We got to catch back up. We'll do so, and then we'll wrap it up when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. Scraggle Pop kettle corn has become a favorite snack throughout the tri-state area, and they are now expanding beyond. This Christmas season, come visit Scraggle Pop at the Huntington Mall, the Ashland Town Center, Food Fair, and a number of great tri-state retailers. They have an assortment of delicious flavors like cinnamon, caramel, Chicago blend, and of course the original blend of kettle corn that started it all. Grab your favorite kettle corn blend along with a frozen sweet tea, lemonade, or hot apple cider. Take home a beautiful Christmas tin for yourself or as a gift for family and friends. Scraggle Pop also offers many sports team tins for the sports fan in your life. So check them out today at the Huntington Mall or the Ashland Town Center. Scraggle Pop now ships nationwide. Visit their website at scragglepop.com to send your loved ones a tin of their favorite flavor. You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. ScragglePopKettlecorn.com.
Check out Working Man's Store in Huntington, the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Medcouture, Infinity, Dickies, and Cherokee at the best price. Working Man's Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man's Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man's Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man's Store, open every day at 145th Avenue, Huntington.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Get the tire that will see you through the cold and then some. The long-lasting all-season Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire. Because winter doesn't last forever. Between 11:15 and 12:05, get $70 via reward card or virtual prepaid card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. $70 tire rebate on all tire lines, plus a $30 bonus rebate on Michelin winter tires only. See TikTok Tire, 3rd Avenue in Huntington, across from Jones C. Edwards Stadium.
www.michelinman.com/deals-deals-promotions-and-rebates for complete detail. Offer expires 12/5/23. Void where prohibited.
All Glockner locations are spreading holiday cheer during our annual Small Town Christmas Sales event. We have the vehicles that will make your holidays merry and bright with the season's lowest live market prices. Glockner is making this season truly magical by offering the fastest, most transparent 5-star customer experience for you. And because we love our small town community, we're offering our biggest trade values. Let's make this a small town Christmas to remember.
We make it easy at Glockner.com.
160,000 kids stay home from school every day for the same reason: bullying. This is Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association. Bullying impacts nearly 1/3 of all students every year, but parents, educators, and concerned adults can make a difference. It takes just one caring adult to intervene and help stop the bullying. Victims need an adult that will listen, will stand up for them, and most importantly, show them that they are not alone. Bullying and cyberbullying have far-reaching effects, from a decline in academic performance to physical illness, depression, or worse. Help us create a safe, bully-free learning environment for all students in West Virginia. One caring adult can make all the difference. Take the pledge to be that adult at nea.org/bullyfree.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
304-396-TALK. That's our text line to be a part of today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're giving you a chance to win tickets to go see the Herd coming up on Thursday. UNCW 4-pack for our texter of the day, and you can enter in now. Again, it's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As I know, we're talking basketball and football together, and I'm giving you basketball tickets, and I'm kind of curious what you think the football score is going to be. Marshall's going to be in Frisco taking on UTSA, and that will be happening on the 19th. Who do you think is going to win? The Herd's, it's a travel day for the Herd, so the Herd has departed the friendly confines of Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Does Marshall come back with the victory? And if so, is all forgiven? A positive end to an average season is all forgiven as the new year will approach? Or do we sit and stew for months over losing the UTSA? I mean, UTSA, Herd's in for a challenge. Transfer portal or not, the Herd's in for a challenge. Now, this is a team that lost by 3 to Houston. And it did get handled by Tennessee 45-14. And it lost to Army. And this was an offensive showcase, right? Lost to Army 37-29. And then the last game, it lost to Tulane 29-16. And that was it. Those are the losses. Wins over Texas State, Temple, UAB, Florida Atlantic, East Carolina, and then again, East Carolina, not the best team going this year. Beat FAU, obviously, let's see, beat North Texas, Rice, South Florida. Finished 7-1 in the AAC, 8-4 overall. Making its 4th straight bowl game. And here's a stat that I don't want to be the answer for. UTSA is 0-4 in bowl games. 3 of the contests decided by 7 or fewer points. So if you're UTSA, you win this game, it'll be forever remembered as your first bowl victory. Add that to this. If Marshall loses this game, it'll be Marshall losing to a team that has never won a bowl game. Now, granted, it's a small sample size, but this is a team that is yet to win a bowl game. It's an up-and-coming program, as they like to say. So that's something that you want to kind of keep in the back of your head. Hope that that doesn't come to pass. Now, I look for big things out of UTSA's program, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you don't want to be the first bowl victory ever for a program, because now UTSA can go back and say, we got our first bowl game ever. It was against Marshall. It was against Marshall. That is the first win in our bowl history. Do you remember Marshall's first bowl win? Do you remember Marshall's first bowl win? Can you name it off the top of your head? Not Google it. Can you name it? I bet you can't. Unless you've been around a while, I bet you can't. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I bet you can name Marshall's first bowl. You know that one, right? You probably know the last one, too. Can you name all the teams that Marshall's beaten in bowls? I bet you can name a couple of the losses. I can. Most recently, Buffalo. A couple of seasons ago to Louisiana. Lost to Central Florida. I can remember those. Texter writes in and says, I know the first one. It's the Tangerine Bowl. That's correct. Do you know the opponent? Funny fact, Marshall, when it was still playing at Fairfield Stadium, scheduled that opponent. Got its revenge game. Blew them out. I think it was 50 or more points. It was against Catawba. And so Marshall schedules them. I think it was in the 80s, late 80s. And Marshall gets Catawba back on the schedule. And this was Marshall's first ever bowl opponent, Catawba. And Marshall was starting to rev up that machine that was later going to be one of the best 1AA teams of all time. It was revving that program up, finally getting things going, and got Catawba back in here and just beat them like a drum. Just beat them bad. And I'm thinking, man, wow, that's I don't want to say that's kind of pettiness that I endorse, but I was all for it. The shade. Just get an opponent like that. Just bring them. There was no reason to play that game other than, okay, we need a game. Hey, let's get Catawba in here. They played us in that bowl game. And the NCAA doesn't recognize that. That isn't. It's in the history here. It's in the history, but it doesn't hold up in the bowl NCAA bowl stats for some reason. How many people were at that game? Marshall, not the bowl game, not the Catawba bowl game, but in the 80s. How many people were there? Bless your heart if you were there. You got to be a special Herd fan to have sat through a lot of football games at Fairfield Stadium. I'll say this, tailgating was fun at Fairfield Stadium because you would tailgate on Prindle Field, and so it was a different vibe than it is now. I'm not saying that the tailgating is bad on the West Lot, but tailgating at Prindle Field was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. I think I missed those days, and I was a youngster. But again, according to the text line, I am a spring chicken. I am a spring chicken. Texter wants to know who played the doubleheader to open Fairfield. Wasn't Huntington High on that schedule? I think so. I wasn't back then around during the opening of Fairfield Stadium. But I think Huntington High was part of that doubleheader. I think. I'm sure that the stat police will get on me on that if I got it wrong. I'm sure Woody Woodrum would text me. Texter says it was Huntington High and Logan. All right, so I got most of that right. I'll take that. All right, that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you, I believe, on Tuesday. We'll hope for Monday. We've got football action starting tomorrow. All this weekend, next weekend, holiday weekend. We got football all over the place. I won't be here for the holiday weekend because of football, but I'll be here for the most part next week. Find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. Podcast available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Marshall basketball. Until then, have a great night.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.